Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and let's get started. All right, I'm back with Million Dollar Earner and producer of Million Dollar Earners, Andy Young. And Andy, as we didn't really talk about the fact of all of the impact Andy's had around the country. Far beyond his own industry. You know, when you have big success, you make noise, you attract attention, and there's been a lot of people listening and following the Pied Piper that is Andy Young for a long, long time, and the results show up in the kind of success they have. So that's, it's the proof of the principles and concepts and the fundamentals you have is when you can pass them, not only be successful yourself, but you can pass them on to others and they can duplicate it. And Andy has certainly been able to do that. So welcome back, Andy.
Great to be here, Larry.
And thanks for taking some more time and sharing. We talked last time about your formative years and that drive and 7 a.m. running out on the track because you were challenged to do that and you wanted greatness and growing up in a family where there were 7 kids in one bathroom and a disabled mother and never had money and not only didn't have money, had a bad attitude towards money. A very spiritual, religious, solid foundation there, but the trouble sometimes is when you start out, you can misread the Bible and think that money is evil when really money is the solution to so many problems because it gives you answers, and it's the love and worship of money that's the problem. You put it ahead of your relationship with God. That is a problem. Money's not bad. Money's fabulous because of the things you can do for yourself and other people. And so, fortunately, you saw through that right from the beginning. But I was stuck with that phrase you said. We always talked about money because we didn't have it. But on the other hand, it was an evil thing, but you still need money to get groceries. And so, it'd be nice to have money to buy a house with 2 bathrooms or more. And so, you saw through that. You put yourself in a position to be able to have a life where you could get your hands on some of the good things of life. However, and I know you got married and you wanted to provide a better life for your family and Debbie and Susan and the other rest of the family that was on the way to come, Sarah and Amy. And but in the beginning, it's just like you wanted a better life, and you saw it, and you said this can happen to me. Fortunately for you, Andy, you had the preparation deep down in your bones and your marrow, and you had the experience to go with it. And so you were really far better equipped to deal with the big obstacles that life put in your way to get to where you wanted to go and where you are today. So let's talk about when you came out of coming out of school. You had this. It had to be crushing. That the first thing you had to overcome is the feeling sorry for yourself. That my NFL career that I've worked for, I got up at 7 a.m. In high school running on the track. I've been in the weight room lifting. I get a scholarship to go to a prestigious university, play Division I football, and then surgery after surgery after surgery, and your dreams are just wiped out. But you did not stay down because of what was in you. And that's an important lesson for everybody. You don't have to stay down just because you get knocked down by things out of your control. In fact, you're not supposed to stay down. And you're not supposed to feel sorry for yourself. So, Andy, let's talk about how you approached that and overcame, like success came by inches. you had to inch your way to building up momentum in a business of your own and establishing the career that you have today. So talk about how you looked at that and how you coached yourself, because at this point now you're married, you're away from all your early mentors, and you're having to, even before you found me and the rest of us, you're having to sort through the things that your options and decide which direction am I go in. So let's pick up the story there.
Yeah, I mean, I have the injury, and then okay, so it's clear if I want to be there 5 years, there. I mean, I can be there, I can play, and I finished my career. Lost the steps. I knew I wasn't going to the next level after the surgeries, but then it was a matter of okay, I'm going to add a second major. Instead of coasting through, well, I could just take one less class each semester. I doubled it up, and then I did the summer school so I could add the second major, and then go for the scholarship to go to South America because we want to get something good. And I saw they had that scholarship, and the funny thing about that is I saw that you get to go to Bogota, Colombia, live with a Colombian family, paid for by Wake Forest. And boy, that's going to be great. In my mind, it was at the time there was the first Mexican restaurant that ever came out in the United States that I recall was Chi-Chi's. And that's when then they came in, brought the big old bowl of refilled chips, tortilla chips, and the salsas, and it was for a big guy eating. That was great. So I thought when I applied for the scholarship, I'm going to end up going down. There's going to be mariachi bands playing and women kind of low-cut dresses, and it was going to be just a big old party, big fiesta every day, and all that kind of stuff. I get down there, and I find out that a third of the country is occupied by communist guerrillas. You had Pablo Escobar making his move, and here I am, this big, 6'4" gringo with red hair, showing up in the middle of that mess down there. And my family picked me up. They're speaking Spanish at a rapid rate. I get in there, and I see there's tanks, there's soldiers on every corner, all that kind of stuff. I'm like, what the crap did I get myself into? But I can tell you right now that in my lifetime, if you don't say, probably if you're actually planning on doing something great at any particular time in your life, let's say this year I'm going to go do something great. If you don't say one or two or three times during this year as you're going for something, what the hell did I say that for? Me and my big mouth. Why did I mean, I could have said this, but I said that. If you can't make in your brain, that, hey, you got to be going for it and put yourself against the wall. See, that's the thing about what people don't realize, like a Tiger Woods. Tiger, I watched him at Augusta National. He hit his tee shot. I think it was on the 11th tee box. He hits the shot and breaks his club. Just slams to the ground and breaks his club. And I'm thinking, as I'm laughing, here's a guy who's made more money than anybody in golf, in the history of golf. $500 million, got one of the biggest yachts out there. He's not frustrated because he's worried about missing the yacht payment or he's behind on his light bill or crap. If you want to play at a high level, you got to get the game right between your ears where you put yourself in positions to play at the highest level, where you're around the greatest people, where you're not around people that make excuses like I talked about in the previous talk. I mean, it's you got to put yourself in an environment with the people that are moving. And I tell you what, most people, they're not moving anywhere. They don't have any vision. And you got to be really careful. And, hey, you know what? You're related to a lot of them. You got to be extremely careful about your environment, protecting your environment. So when I'm in school, I didn't hang around the guys that were partying too much, all that kind of crap. I was the guy that was, had a study hall. I'm going to the study hall. I mean, I'm going to find some way to get better at what I'm going to do. So the Spanish thing came through, and then from there came out, and I had the job offer to go with Wachovia and move to Puerto Rico and be a permanent, full-time translator. And I saw all that, but that's when I said I'm going to find a business. I want to find a business. I want to own a business, but I don't have any money. So there's another challenge. But I found a business where with sweat equity and being around mentors and people that could help me, that I could learn their craft, learn what they were doing. And if I duplicated it, it would pay off. And one of the things at that time was, I could make $100,000. And looking back, that seems kind of, funny, 100,000, but that's kind of like all the money in the world. You can make $8,000, $10,000, $12,000 a month and make a difference. Find a vehicle that you can make a difference for. And the vehicle is important because we were talking earlier that, you can put your effort in and you can do the paces and you get the mentors and you can embrace the repetition. You can cut an oak tree down with a sledgehammer. It'd probably take you all week or all month, but you absolutely could cut an oak tree down with a sledgehammer. Or you could, use an axe, or you could sharpen the axe or use a chainsaw. I mean, I'm an East Coast guy. I could get to California. Hey, I could walk there. And everybody laughs, but 150, 200 years ago, that's how everybody got out west. They didn't get into Conestoga and hang a left on Interstate 40. I mean, they walked to California, brought their crap in the wagon if they had one. Or you can drive with kids. That's even worse. You can take a train or you can fly. I mean, you can get there in 4 hours, get on a plane. The vehicle does matter. And then the people you're around, you surround yourself with, and the effort you make makes all the difference too.
Absolutely. And how did you, when you have this mindset, it allows you to quickly sort through your options, doesn't it?
Yeah, you have to sort through your options because you got to find some way to make it go, and that's the thing. You got to keep your options open. You got to keep an open mind, but then you got to be careful as you choose which direction you're going to go in. And once you do that, then you have to embrace it. When I was starting a business with you, I moved 300 miles, moved my family. I'm staying at my mom's, and you said if I got 500 people in a room, you'd come see me, and I don't even know if at the time you even remembered saying that, but that's in my mind. I never forgot it. So 100 days later, put 500 people in a room, and I always joke about it today. And I say, can you believe your mentor, the person above you, the one that's training you, would say something so awful like put 500 people in a room and I'll come work with you a little bit? But I always laugh about it and say, yeah, I'm mad about it too, because if he'd said 1,000, I'd have gotten twice as big. Because I did the 500 in 100 days. I totally believe that's what I was supposed to do. Like when Bob Turley, in a management thing, producing district managers. You got to have district managers in distribution, whatever business you're in. You got all kinds of layers of management. You produce 6 district managers in the vehicle I was using. He's like, go get you 60 more districts. And I was like a golden retriever chasing a stick. I didn't know that people didn't go get 60 districts. Like you got a mentor that it just raises the bar for you, and you got to be around people like that who think bigger. And then you get in your mindset like, what the crap do I say that for? Well, then you go for it. That's how great things are done. Necessity is the mother of invention. That happens over and over and over in history, but that also happens in reinventing yourself, and it really is the people you're hanging around. So, get up there, and I'm 100 days focused, get 500 people in a room. But man, that made all the difference in the world. We had 80 different brokers in position within 3 years because we thought at a higher level in the early days.
Yeah, and really, you really were thinking at a higher level, Andy, way before we even found you, because you knew how to evaluate your options, because whether you realize or not, you already were thinking is, where is this going to take me? It's like that was the thing about the NFL. If I get in the NFL, that could take me to a different kind of life. I'm going to get rewarded for my hard work in the NFL. When that door was shut, you're looking for doors that you could get onto, and develop skills and get into a vehicle, an opportunity, a company that would reward hard work. And where you didn't know where it would take you, but it was going to be up. And so when you got out of college and you looked at the one or two standard options, the reason you were open to us was you saw the standard options that people do were offered to a person like yourself at that time. They were dead ends, and you didn't want a dead end. And that, even though you weren't great at us getting started, it was like this had much more appeal to you, even though, again, your Spanish and your football was not going to help you. But it's like, just develop another skill.
Yeah, the big thing on that is and I would say this, and I know everybody listening is not going to be able to do this, but boy, they ought to make everybody do it. I mean, living in a third world country for 6 months where, we had water about 40% of the week, and we had electricity about 40%. You never knew. The lights might be off for 3 days or 3 minutes or 3 hours. You had to have your big jug of water by your bed because, the water might go off, and that's all the water you got is that gallon jug on your nightstand. That's your water for, 3 minutes, 3 hours, 3 days, whatever. Waiting in line, back in those days, no ATMs, waiting in line for 6 hours at the bank to go just cash a traveler's check to get some pesos, waiting in line for a bus take is like an hour to wait for the bus and an hour ride on the bus. And it was just the level of, where people don't appreciate. And that's why a lot of times you'll see immigrants and the second generation that just came in, where they came into the country, and then the kids, the work ethic is so much stronger. What I would challenge people to do is to really get an appreciation for what you have and the opportunities you have to go maximize. My line of reason with that is when I came out, I had decent job offers. I mean, they were going to start me out in 1980 with $40,000-$50,000 a year, which is pretty dadgum good money. Not the bank, but the other one, the roadway job. But I mean, that wasn't bad money. But I figured, crap, I could be, I got a college degree. I could always be a substitute. They like big people. I don't know offensive tackle. So, you got somebody for discipline, go to the bus lot, and a substitute too. I mean, I could be a teacher. I could go get a teaching certificate. I could always load trucks at that point in my life. I mean, that was no big deal. We'd move furniture, all that crap. I was never scared of working. It wasn't about that, but the opportunity to put myself in position to build something great. And to build, my own business. And the funny part about it, looking back, and I did this research last year, I checked from everybody who graduated from college or came out of college from 1980 and before. I graduated in 1980 at Wake Forest. But I looked at all the NFL players that came out of school 1980 when I would have come out. And I looked at every single one of them, and not one person from Joe Montana on, you look at the names. Now, some of them made money in endorsements, but offensive tackles don't get endorsements. So, but for what the NFL paid them, I made more money in my business than any NFL player up to my time when I would come out. So from a financial standpoint, not only did I build something of value that was worth more than that, because an NFL career, NFL, not for long. I mean, that's average 2-3 years, and you got to be 5 years to get a retirement. I made more money than any of those guys, and it's still paying money, and it's going to pay money to future generations of my children and grandchildren. So, a door shuts, you find a window. Window shuts, you find a door. And you get the right vehicle, you get around the right people, it's amazing what can happen.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Andy. And what this has been is priceless insight on how to evaluate the options that are in front of you, so you can make the decisions that will allow yourself to move forward when doors are slammed in your face. And, it comes down to when you get there, you got to put in the effort, but you got to protect your environment. And you got to continue to keep surrounding yourself with the right kind of people. So thanks so much, Andy, for that. And I know that's going to be incredibly powerfully helpful for people that go through those stages, because we all have doors slammed in our faces on a regular basis, and it's good to know what to do at that moment. Thank you, Andy. Looking forward to you continuing to grow and compound, and looking forward to having you back again.
All right. Appreciate it, Larry.
Thanks for listening to this episode of $1 Million Mastermind with me, Larry Weidel. If I've helped you in any way, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. For more information like this, listen to our other $1 Million Mastermind episodes, and check out my Weidel Academy YouTube channel, and visit us on WeidelOnWinning.com. I'm the $1 Million Mastermind, and until next time, go, go, go.